Hey, first-time homebuyers. I had a closing with buyer clients just this past week, and we had a surprise just before closing. In fact, the day of closing. It wasn't a good surprise in this case, but I want to share with you how we navigated through it and got our buyers to a good, successful closing. So usually, I'll set a final walkthrough the day of closing or sometimes the evening before closing. In this case, we decided to do it just before closing because the attorney's office, where we were going to, was just a few minutes away from the home. Now, the purpose of a final walkthrough, it's not another home inspection, but it is that final look at the house, the very final time you get to take a look at it before you go sign your documents and you own it. Well, in our contract, there is a clause called the Equipment Condition and Inspection Clause. And that clause says, we expect to find the home at closing as was stated in the contract and as we observed with our earlier viewing and home inspection, and that there are no changes or damage that would result in repair needed. So if so, we have a right to bring it to the seller's attention before closing. So on this final walkthrough, we went through everything like we normally do. Go through the house, you run water, you check the pipes and everything else in the house, you turn on the heat pumps. This house had a heat pump upstairs and a heat pump downstairs. Well, the one upstairs, no matter what we did, it wouldn't turn on. And it was 85 degrees up there. It was hot. We checked the unit outside, we checked the interior air handler, and nothing would work. So I contacted the listing agent and we discussed two options. So in this case, option number one would be we escrow some money, meaning the attorney's office, because we're going into closing right now. The attorney's office could hold back some monies and then a HVAC company could be hired to come out and do the repair, and then the repair could be fixed and paid from what the attorney's office was holding back. That would have allowed us to close same day, get it done, and monies are held back. Option number two would be delay closing, and the sellers would go on and hire an HVAC company to come out and do the repair. Well, the sellers chose option B, so we had to wait a day while a HVAC company came out and took a look at it. So my folks had to wait to the next day, and the sellers did hire an HVAC company. They came out. They inspected it, and they found out that it was just simply a capacitor that needed replacement. They got that done. Everything was working really good. And then my clients were able to sign their documents pretty quickly that next day, and it was actually then closed and recorded quickly. So it just took them one more day to move in this case, and it all worked well. And the good news is when they moved stuff in, they didn't have a sauna upstairs on the second level. So one of the encouragements I wanted to give to all of you first-time home buyers is this. You know, life is life, and stuff happens. And so usually, or I'll say most times, it's going to be that you're going to be able to work things out. You just have to find good options, good resolutions, and work through it with both parties. Most times you can get things done. So I want to just say that a lot of times it feels like it's the end of the world scenario, but every time I thought it was, I'd look out the window and I'd say, you know what, it hasn't ended yet. It looks pretty good out here. And that's usually the truth.